keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on. Gotta 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 keep the flame on. Keep the flame on. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. Gotta keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on. Gotta keep the flame on. Gotta keep the flame on. Keep the flame on.
The fact that he's a really good quarterback. Okay, number one, throwing the football, very efficient. His accuracy, his ability to extend plays and keep his eyes downfield, and then he has a really good rapport with his receivers, tight ends, things of that nature. And then obviously you talk about him in the run game and his ability to change direction, his speed, his athleticism, the way he operates and controls the offense. He's a unique player, very unique. He's like Houdini in a helmet. You know, he runs around, can make you miss, clean shots on him. He's slippery. He has great contact balance, tremendous contact balance as a runner, and very seldom comes down on first contact. So it's just a matter of our guys understanding the discipline aspect of playing a quarterback of his caliber, and what that's going to entail in terms of playing the entire down.
The Carolina Panthers bring their 3-7 record to a great place for football here in NFL Week 11 against the 6-3 Ravens. Welcome to Baltimore, Maryland, home of Camden Yards, the Inner Harbor, and the best blue crabs on the planet. Today there will be a salute to service, a lot of military on hand, Army, Navy, Air Force, all branches of the service being honored here at M&T Bank Stadium. Everybody here to enjoy the festivities. It's going to be a great one, a great honor. This is the Pro Football Report on ADSN from M&T Bank Stadium, where the Panthers are set to take on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, but this week, a change at quarterback. P.J. Walker is out with a high left ankle sprain, suffered in that 25-15 Thursday night win over the Falcons. That win gave interim head coach Steve Wilks a 2-5 record heading into today's game. Baker Mayfield will step in to lead the offense. Hi, everybody. I'm Joby Smith, and boy, it is seriously cold out here in the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. Before we get too deep into this week's matchup, let's get you fully caught up with Thursday night's highlights.
Ain't no frontin' over here. What you saying? Ain't no frontin' over here. No frontin'. No frontin' allowed, I don't think you hear me clear. Ain't no frontin' over here. How many times I gotta say I'm the truth? Nah, real deal, why these other rappers lie in the booth? I'm in the lab with a pen and a pad.
The Panthers' opportunity to sit atop the NFC South came down to, surprisingly, a kicking contest.
Step back, give me room. Step back, give me room. Step back.
Eddie Pinheiro had a chance to put the game away, but his miscues eventually gave Young-Ho Koo a win for the Falcons in the 37-34 overtime battle.
Stay pumping, adrenaline running like a team.
But on Thursday night, in front of an exuberant but wet primetime audience, the Carolina Panthers were looking for revenge and to continue P.J. Walker's string of consecutive home wins as a starter. With both the Atlanta loss and the Cincinnati debacle fresh in their minds, job one was protecting the football and keeping it on the ground. But the less risky strategy produced few points in the first quarter into the end zone to give Carolina a 10-0 lead. It was the padding Carolina needed to retain a one-touchdown lead going into the half. But the Chenault score didn't count as a receiving touchdown for Walker, despite having thrown the pass, because it was ruled to not be a forward pass.
So for me, it's just to go out there when I get the opportunity to make plays, go. But you also got to be smart with the football, keep the ball out of harm's way. Unfortunately, it was in harm's way a couple times today. They fortunately dropped it. And so for us, it's just to continue to go out there and play. Last week was last week, and it's on to a new week every week.
But Donta Foreman, who added 130 yards on 31 carries to bolster the Panthers' season-high 232 yards on the ground, had other ideas.
Nitro! Quarterback, it ain't nothing, just ride to it. If it's cool with you, roll it up and ride to it.
The 31 carries were a heavy load for Foreman, but a load worth shouldering, and the catalyst for the celebration of a lifetime.
We knew tonight was the night to come out here and just put it all together and show people that
Control the line of scrimmage this game. Worked perfectly.
We talked all week. In order to win this game, we're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. And offensively, I thought we did a tremendous job. We rushed for 232. Foreman had 130 yards rushing off 31 carries. I think that's very impressive.
The Falcons began to paint a familiar comeback picture in the fourth quarter. Atlanta mounted an 8-play, 97-yard drive, capped by a Kadero Hodge 25-yard touchdown reception. But Young-Ho Koo had his point-after attempt blocked, leaving a 7-point buffer with under 3 minutes in the game. Marcus Mariota went 19 of 30 for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns on the night, but was sacked 5 times and intercepted once, including during the Falcons' last chance to tie the game. From their own 34, with 2.5 minutes left to play, the Falcons pushed toward the end zone, but Carolina's Marquise Haynes sacked Mariota twice during the drive, and the Falcons ended their final drive at their 15-yard line. Atlanta fell to 4-6, as Carolina improved to 3-7. Eddie Pinheiro kicked a total of 4 field goals and redeemed himself with some key makes from as far away as 49 yards. But the bad news for the Panthers, cornerback Dante Jackson, who went down in the fourth quarter. Jackson will now miss the remainder.
Love that enthusiasm by Donta Foreman jumping into the stands. Boy, he was real excited, well-deserved. Let's hope he has reason to celebrate today. As we mentioned before the highlights, Baker Mayfield will lead the offense today. And let's check in with ADSN's Kevin Casey for more.
5, 4, 3, 1.
The Carolina Panthers go on the road to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens, and it's going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to be tough. The Ravens are a playoff team right now as we speak. They have a former MVP and quarterback, Lamar Jackson, but Carolina's quarterback for the first time in a while is going to be Baker Mayfield, but he's coming off injury. He says he's healthy, and he always prepares as a starter.
I think there were times where, you question it, but just always stay ready. And that's a cliche thing to say, but it's what you have to do. You have to prepare like you're going to play, and that's just how that's how the quarterback room works too. You have to be able to help out whoever's starting and then be another voice throughout the whole offensive unit. And so, but that'll help you stay ready. So there were times where you look at it, but just have to stay ready somehow. So it kind of caught me off guard just hearing that news, but just a simple conversation of, getting back in there, just the situation that's going to be. I'm going to start. Sam's going to be dressed and ready to go. Just kind of how it is. I expect to win. I expect to go out there and do everything I possibly can to put us in a position to win and do it at a very, very high level. I don't think there's much to it. That's what I expect out of myself. That's what I expect out of our group too.
All right, the Carolina Panthers have injury concerns on their own. Not too bad. Frankie Louvu back on the field. He was sick yesterday. P.J. Walker, he still has an ankle issue, so Sam Darnold's going to be your 2. Baker Mayfield is your starter. Sam Darnold is going to back him up. The Golden Greek, Matt Ioannidis, defensive tackle, not playing. Taylor Moton, elbow. He's a full participant. So is J.C. Horn. Good news. J.C. Horn is back in practice. He's a full participant. So is Giovanni Ricci, a very valuable special teamer and H-back for the Carolina Panthers. Offensively, the best strategy for the Carolina Panthers is to do what Washington did against Philadelphia. Keep the ball, run the ball, control the clock. Washington had the ball 40 minutes to Philadelphia's 20 minutes, and they won the game. So the ideal scenario for Carolina is Baker Mayfield running the ball, Deontay Foreman, probably about 30 carries, and just control the clock. If they can control the clock like Washington did against Philadelphia, they're going to be in pretty good shape. But the easiest strategy to beat the Ravens is don't let Lamar Jackson touch the ball and limit his touches. No turnovers. Maybe get a special team play, force a turnover for Baltimore, keep your offense on the field, moving the ball, running plays, getting first downs, and hopefully scoring and controlling the clock. So it's Baltimore, a playoff team. They're not overlooking Carolina. The Panthers still only 2 games out of first place. They really need this victory. And then they have the Thanksgiving weekend at home against Denver. So Carolina, if they can string together a few wins, including at Baltimore, they could find themselves right back in the NFC South hunt. For now, I'm Kevin Casey. So long for now.
Thanks, Kevin. The Panthers certainly have a tough task ahead of them. There isn't much history between these two teams. Only 6 meetings since both organizations were established. Last battle, Carolina won 36-21. We'll see if history repeats itself. Now, we've had a lot of fans ask us about ADSN gear, and boy, we're ready to unleash some. Brenda gear will be rolling out. We finally have our hoodies coming to market very soon. Make sure you log on to ADSN1.com to check out some of the latest apparel. We'll be back with more, including the 3 keys to the game. Boy, it's really cold out here. Stay with us on the Carolina Football Report on ADSN.
At Heslop Wealth Advisors, our goal is to help small businesses develop quality retirement plans for their employees through our Lunch and Learn seminars. We provide lunch and learning tools to help your company succeed and unmatched customer service.
And welcome back to the Carolina Football Report on ADSN, home of one of your favorite sports magazine shows, Chopping Up with Buck, airing every Friday on ESPN Radio. You can also find it on our flagship site, ADSN1.com. Now it's time to see what the Baltimore Ravens look like heading into today's matchup. Let's check in with the Carolina Panthers Spanish radio analyst, Antonio Ramos.
Tough matchup for the Panthers today as they face the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens. They hold the first place in the AFC North. And last time Carolina played away against an AFC North rival, things didn't go quite well in Cincinnati. Ravens are a different team than the Bengals. We all know that. They have a very physical offensive line with the second best rushing attack in the league, averaging 168 yards per game on the ground and 5.5 yards per attempt. Those numbers are not surprising when you have probably the best athlete in the league playing quarterback in Lamar Jackson. They use a running back committee with Kenyon Drake, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, and of course Lamar running the football, but everything starts up front with the big guys blocking. We know John Harbaugh likes to play with heavy personnel, 22 personnel, 21 personnel with extra tight ends that can also catch the ball like Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. On paper, they might not look dangerous throwing the ball, but Lamar Jackson can make some throws. Of course, Mark Andrews is his go-to guy, but look for players like Devin Duvernay that are hard to cover in the slot on third downs. They brought Deshaun Jackson because of the Rashad Bateman injury. And with the Panthers having a banged up secondary, they need to be very careful when Lamar Jackson has time to make those throws. Panthers must win this game on the trenches in both sides. That's going to be a huge challenge today against one of the most physical teams in the NFL. So let's hear from Brian Burns on how to stop one of the fastest players in the National Football League like Lamar Jackson and how to stop this Ravens rushing attack.
Have you seen him? Yeah, he fast. He can make a lot of things happen. He's electric. He finds holes, he finds creases, and he can take it for 70 quick. So I would say balance rush lanes, pretty much put him in a phone booth and just don't let him out. But when he gets in the open space, I say take your shot. I mean, you don't want to break down because he'll also burn you. So I just say take your shot, and you got to have 10 more of your guys coming to help you out. So he got to be accounted for at all times. So whoever has him at the time has to just have him. Like even if you see the play going somewhere else, just have him. You know what I mean? Everybody else will take care of the other part of the offense.
Baltimore is coming from a bye week. Carolina had a long week as well playing Thursday night football. I expect a battle in the trenches. These two teams have pretty similar identities running the football, and a lot of both of those teams can contain the running game as well. On the other side, talking about defense, Ravens defensively improved a lot with the addition of Roquan Smith before the trade deadline. He had a couple of great stops in his debut against the New Orleans Saints in Monday Night Football, and that linebacker group looks loaded with Patrick Queen, Tyus Bowser, Malik Harrison, and we're probably going to see Odafe Oweh debut in the NFL after missing several months with an Achilles injury, so the rookie might do his debut today against the Panthers. Carolina will have their hands full in Baltimore. They have a chance if they control the line of scrimmage. They need to feed Deonta Foreman again and again. Of course, take care of the football is going to be a key in what will be Baker Mayfield's 6th game as a Panther. He has a 3-5 record playing against the Ravens. And last but not least, you have to limit Lamar Jackson as long as you can. Keep him out of the field will not just be a job for the defense, but the offense as well, to have long and sustained drives and help the defense keep Lamar Jackson on the sidelines.
We're almost set for the Panthers on the road here in Baltimore. Here are my 3 keys to the game. Baker Mayfield needs to protect the football and third down convert consistently. Meanwhile, the Panthers defense has to tackle well and try to take the ball away. Also keep Lamar Jackson's big plays to a minimum. One quick note before we go, Jeremy Chin is inserted into the lineup. Meanwhile, Miles Hartfield is out for the game. Frigid temperatures heading into this one, boy. It's really, really something else. That will do it for the pregame show here on ADSN. And I'll tell you what, make sure to tune in to ADSN1.com for all of your Panther news and updates. Also subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell. We'll see you after the game.
I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing. Keep the flame on.